Tamboran, a natural gas company with a vision of helping create a carbon-neutral world, is in the spotlight this afternoon here at the New York Stock Exchange. Good afternoon and welcome to NYSE TV Live. I'm Trinity Chavez and today is Thursday, June 27th, and we're coming to you from high above the trading floor here at the NYSE. And in just about a half an hour, Tamboran will ring the closing bell as it celebrates its listing on the exchange. The official celebration took place this morning when the company executives rang the first trade bell as its shares, TBN is its ticker symbol. They officially began trading here at the New York Stock Exchange and in the U.S. equity markets. Tamboran, which is a dual listing here at the exchange, also trades on the Australian Securities Exchange under the same ticker symbol. The Sydney, Australian-based company is looking to play a significant role in the global transition for clean energy. Tamboran is a natural gas company founded in 2009 with a vision of supporting the net zero CO2 energy transition in the Australia and Asian Pacific regions. Its strategy? Well, developing unconventional gas resources in the Northern Territory of Australia. In fact, Tamboran is the largest acreage holder with approximately 1.9 million net prospective net acres in the Beetaloosa Basin with the Greater MacArthur Basin in Australia's Northern Territory. Things ramped up just last week when Tamboran's development of the Beetaloo Basin was awarded major project status by Australia's Northern Territory government. This recognizes the national significance of a project when it comes to the economic growth, employment, and its need for support to navigate complex regulatory approvals. Now, according to the Australian government, here's what companies like Tamboran will gain as a result. A single entry point for Australian government approvals, project support and coordination, and help with engaging state and territory facilitation agencies to navigate state and territory regulatory approvals. Most projects have major project status for 3 years. Tamboran CEO Joe Riddle, adding in a statement, quote, "We look forward to working closely with the government and ensuring our development plays a major role in achieving the Northern Territory government's long-term economic plan, including potential for the Beetaloo Basin to support 13,000 jobs and increase economic activity by $17 billion in Australian dollars by 2040. We'll dive into the opportunities as well as the risks facing Tamboran after a few words from our company and our parent company ICE about clean energy initiatives. Ahead of Tamboran's move to New York and the New York Stock Exchange, it highlighted a series of opportunities and risk factors in its S-1 filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Let's start with the big opportunity Tamboran sees. According to the 2023 report from the International Energy Agency, 70% of future growth in global electricity demand will come from high growth and high demand markets in Asia by 2025. Now, the company says that its operation in Northern Australia gives a little geographical advantage over global competitors to meet the demand in Asia. This image provided by Tamboran, the SEC, highlights this potential advantage. The company says liquefied natural gas can be delivered from Darwin, Australia, to Singapore in less than 4 days and to China and Japan in less than 6 days. Tamboran argues that shipments from the Middle East traveling through the Red Sea and shipments from the U.S. traveling around the southern Cape of Africa or through the Panama Canal face not only delays, but higher costs as well. One specific example the company points to is the cost to ship LNG to Japan from Australia, roughly 40% lower than shipping the same liquefied natural gas to Japan from Qatar. Tamboran also says that demand from Australia's East Coast natural gas market has increased significantly in the past several years, and that meeting this expected demand will require investment in new natural gas production and infrastructure. But seizing opportunity requires action, and Tamboran says that the advantages over the competition stretch further than what could be drawn up on a map. In addition to being located near Asian markets and being the largest acreage holder and operator in the Beetaloosa Basin, Tamboran is a leading competitor in this space and is also leaning on management teams that it says has an average of over 25 years of experience leading assets for oil giants like Chevron, which trades here at the NYSE under ticker symbol CVX, and ExxonMobil, which also trades here at the NYSE under the ticker symbol XOM. Next, Tamboran says that its sustainability committee, comprised of board members, is helping ensure the company produces natural gas on a scope of 1 net zero basis upon achieving commercial production. Scope 1 refers to the direct greenhouse emissions occurring from sources controlled or owned by an organization. And Tamboran believes that its notable advantage is terms, quote, high-quality blue-chip strategic partners, which says it allows them to utilize exclusive drilling services for wells, provide a dedicated frac fleet, and build new pipelines to connect natural gas with systems on the Australian East Coast. Tamboran and other companies in the oil and gas sector are also looking to overcome industry-wide risk factors, such as speculative natural and drilling wells, which is costly and could yield no discoveries or additional to future production or reserves. Volatile natural gas prices, construction delays are also among the challenges oil and gas companies face today. Now, in just a moment, we're going to take you to the boardroom where Tamboran Managing Director and CEO Joel Riddle will deliver remarks before NYSE Head of International Capital Markets Cassandra Sire presents him with an NYSE medallion. Then after delivering these remarks and receiving the medallion, Riddle and the whole team will make their way down to the NYSE trading floor to sign the distinguished guest book. Now, this book is very significant here at the NYSE because it represents a ceremonial act that symbolizes the importance of the exchange and those associated with it. It indicates the individual or organization's significance in the financial community and their contributions to finance and business. Notable individuals to sign the guest book include former Australian Prime Ministers Tony Abbott and John Howard, as well as former Australian Attorney General Michael Lavarch. Now, we're about 45 seconds out from going to the boardroom, but we are going to speak with Mr. Riddle about how the meaningful day is for him and his company, as well as his colleagues, and what's next. But before we do that, we're going to toss it to the boardroom right now to continue our live coverage, and then we will take you through a play-by-play of all the festivities that are going to happen today as we wait to ring out the closing bell.
Hi, everyone. I love an active group and a lively bunch. I heard that you guys were out taking pictures earlier, which I am so happy to hear. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the New York Stock Exchange. My name is Cassandra Sire, Head of International Capital Markets. My team and I are responsible for taking non-US companies to come and list at the NYSE, whether it is a private to public company for the first time or a dual listing, such as today. And a dual listing with capital raise is one we absolutely love. So again, I wanted to congratulate everybody, and especially to the management team, to Joel, to Eric, to Farron, and your colleagues, your family members, and Joel's baby, who's 6 months old. Many of you have traveled far to come here to celebrate this day, and I think everyone should deserve a round of applause. Earlier this morning at 11:10 a.m., Tamboran rang the first trade bell on the iconic trading floor by the DMM Citadel Securities. And that is a very special moment. As I explained to Joel earlier, you only ring the first trade bell once. You can come back and be on the podium and do the opening and the closing bell of the equity market, but you really only ring your first trade bell once. So that's great that you did that. And in a few minutes, you'll be ringing the closing bell of the US equity market. And I've been told tens of millions will be watching. And so no pressure, whether it is here or globally. But we are so excited for you to be here. Many, many iconic brands and innovative companies, mission-driven companies, call the NYSE their home. We have 2,400 companies from 48 countries. And welcome to your new home away from home. A dual listing at the NYSE with a capital raise will not only help Tamboran broaden your investor base, but also help you achieve your business expansion plan. At Tamboran, you are focused on importing modern U.S. drilling and completion technology into Australia's Beetaloo Basin to unlock one of the largest undeveloped gas projects in the world. And the New York Stock Exchange has a long history of supporting gas companies to fund their developments. We are excited for you to leverage our platform and the U.S. capital market to achieve your mission and vision of supporting net zero CO2 energy transition in Australia and Asia Pacific. With that said, I would really like to welcome Joe Riddle, CEO of Tamboran, to come up to the stage to say a few words.
Wow, we did it. Let's go. So I have a speech I'm going to give formally after we ring the bell, but one thing I just request from everyone, and we will be very on brand as we ring the bell, is I want this thing to be the most energetic bell ringing this New York Stock Exchange has ever seen. So I want everybody pumped up. And again, when we talk about brand, this is a company that is on the rise. We have so much in front of us. And I told all of our employees as they came in today, I said, look, we're going to enjoy today. This is a huge milestone for our business. There's a lot of people responsible for getting to where we are today. All those people are in this room right now. And we're going to celebrate and we're going to party. But tomorrow is day one, and there's a lot more in front of us. So there's a lot to be proud of, and we're going to celebrate and blow this roof off of this exchange tonight. All right? Let's go.
We have a lot of traditions at the New York Stock Exchange. We're 232 years old, so it comes with a few things. The traditions such as presenting our CEO with the original stock certificate. And you can see here, there is a buttonwood tree, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it later, but it has the date of June 27th, and congratulations. Great. Now the next tradition is we have a medallion that we struck this morning, and it has a beautiful facade so that you can always remember this day where you partied hard on day zero, with 6 pillars in front of our building, which really stands for entrepreneurship and free enterprise. And at the back is the buttonwood tree. Why do we keep putting a buttonwood tree on everything? Because the buttonwood tree is where 24 brokers came together and signed an agreement, which is the founding document of the New York Stock Exchange back in 1792. They signed the agreement right on the corner of Wall and Water, and these 24 brokers did it under a buttonwood tree. The agreement is also known as the Buttonwood Agreement, which is why you see that all the time. So this is yours.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Okay, thank you.
And don't worry, for those who came since you traveled so far, I know Australia to the US is quite a distance. Or if you came from Texas or Florida, that's still a distance. So with that, you get a little version of the medallion. So you can take one on the way out. And I know this is a live broadcast, so I'm going to toss back to Trinity Chavez, who is the webinar, the webcast host. And for those in the room here, we are going to go down, and as Joe said, make a lot of noise and make sure we are actually completely
Now again, we
distracted.
just heard from NYSE Head of International Capital Markets, Cassandra Sire, and Tamboran Managing Director and CEO, Joel Riddle. He was talking about how today he wants his whole team, and himself included, to celebrate achieving this huge milestone moment. He also said that the company is just on the rise. Again, a huge milestone for their whole business, and he encourages everyone to just enjoy the day as they prepare to close out the markets. Now, Tamboran is the latest Australian-based company to join the NYSE. Overall, 6 companies from Down Under are listed here at the exchange, including fellow energy companies like BHP and Woodside Energy. Collectively, the 6 companies have a combined market cap of about $215 billion. Joining me now to discuss this and more is John Love, the CEO of USCF Investments. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you, and again, thank you for joining us. But let's get into this a little bit more. So what would you say investors are looking at most closely when it comes to companies operating in the natural gas industry?
Well, these days they're looking for companies with strong margins, obviously strong balance sheets, with fiscal responsibility. As you know, in the previous decade, there was a real drive to drill as much as possible, produce as much as possible, and that led to some sloppy balance sheets. In this decade, especially after COVID, companies have improved their flows, cash flow, dividends to investors, and I think investors have been a lot happier with what they've seen from E&Ps and from drillers and that kind of thing. So they're looking for these days fiscal responsibility, not drilling.
And where do you believe natural gas and oil is headed during the second half of 2024?
Oil's interesting because we've been kind of in this space between $70 and $90 and really kind of went along the median of $80, which is where we are right now in terms of U.S. crude. There's one key factor that is keeping prices there, and that's OPEC right now. They're doing a very good job of managing their output and preventing supply from getting too large relative to demand. So there's really kind of an OPEC put, same way there's a Fed put in the U.S. With interest rates and with the market overall. OPEC is really keeping a floor on prices. Where there is some uncertainty, of course, is all of the everything going on in the Middle East, geopolitical instability all over the world. There's really nothing that would stop if there were to be an outbreak of some kind or intensifying of hostilities somewhere in the Middle East. Iran stopping tankers in the Strait of Hormuz again, like they did back in 2019. You could have some serious upside to crude oil. So I think we're probably range bound as long as OPEC is committed, as they have been for the last 2 years. But we'll see how they continue to manage that and as the years go by. So I think the rest of the year, I would say oil is probably looking pretty healthy.
And your firm, USCF Investments, has a wide range of exchange-traded products and exchange-traded funds encompassing the energy sector. So what commodities are seeing the most demand from investors right now, and why?
We've always had good demand in our oil and natural gas products. We're actually seeing a lot of increased demand we have a copper fund, CPER, which we've been telling investors that when you're looking at energy and looking towards the future, you really have to start thinking about some of these industrial metals as part of the energy story. We have a copper fund, an aluminum fund, and we're seeing a lot of attention there because copper's critical for the energy transition. It's all of the wiring within an electric vehicle and in power stations and things like that are super dependent on copper. So we're seeing a lot of attention there. We're seeing attention to our midstream energy fund, which has done quite well, and our broad commodity strategy, which gives you exposure to things besides just oil and natural gas, but also everything else out there that has different drivers. We're trying to find. We've got a system that tries to find the best story in commodities in a way, and I think if you look at the numbers, it's done that successfully, and people are starting to notice that.
lot of key takeaways there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Have a great afternoon.
Switching gears a little bit, Australia is shaking things up across various sectors. Design platform Canva is actually revolutionizing the way creators create through their innovative tools for creating social media graphics, presentations, promotional merchandise, and websites. Launched in 2013, the platform now has grown to over 185 million monthly users, and they are showing no signs of slowing down. Canva Create is back for 2024, and it's bigger and better than ever before. Trusted by more than 90% of the Fortune 500 companies, many of which are NYSE listed companies, Canva is revolutionizing how creators create. They have taken over SoFi Stadium and the YouTube Theater. Over 3,500 are here today, while millions of people from around the world are tuning in. With over 50 different speakers, 15 sessions and workshops, all led by the Canva team, promising to make this an unforgettable experience. We're speaking to Canva's leadership, investors, and board members about what's driving the success and how they're simplifying design.
We are extraordinarily excited to bring Canva Create here to Los Angeles. So our mission is to empower the world to design, and we quite literally mean that. We want to empower every single person to design anything that they could possibly need.
It has been so cool to see some of the Canva superfans turn out today, because it is the community that really drives us. Canva's user base has become incredibly diverse over the last 10 years. There's something for everyone, whether you're a teacher, a student, a CMO, a sales executive.
At Canva, our core product philosophy is really about making complex things simple, and we try to embed that throughout the entire product process.
When I met Mel and Cliff, it was just an incredible meeting, and they described to me their vision for Canva. They wanted to go make design simple for everyone. 10 years later, they're the most used design tool on the planet. They just sat there and built something that the world needed.
I'm a designer at heart, and for me, being able to actually have a place to find my own creative confidence and not have to start from scratch every time is really, really special.
We were very fortunate to invest in the first round of Canva. I think it all started with Melanie and this one idea. She was very passionate, just right from the beginning. Like when we very first saw her pitch, there was something special here.
It's just been amazing to see the company grow and to see them take on giants and win.
Canva's culture isn't just something that you come into, it's something that you actively contribute to. And the other things that are really important to us is making sure that our culture is rooted in our mission, and then that means that everyone collaborates in a really meaningful way towards what we're all trying to do for our community.
We have the most amazing community, and seeing what they use Canva to create has been incredible. You're seeing people get jobs because they've created a resume, or a lady find her birth mother by creating a poster. All of these incredible stories really warm our hearts and keep us motivated to keep going.
At Tamboran, we are focused on importing modern U.S. drilling and completion technology into Australia's Beetaloo Basin. This technology will support the unlocking of one of the largest undeveloped gas projects in the world, right in the heart of Australia.
Joining me now is Joel Riddle, Tamboran Managing Director and CEO. We heard him in the boardroom. He's joining us now on the floor as you're getting ready to close out the markets. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling great. This is a big day for the company. It's a event that we've been working toward for many years now. We couldn't be more excited as we move forward with our high growth business plan at Australia.
Talk to me more about why now was the time to access public markets for Tamboran.
Well, U.S. public markets have a significant bit of experience in development of U.S. shale that's happened over the last 15 years of the shale revolution. Investors that want to leverage that experience and play into doing it again in the early stages of a big shale play developing in Australia have a lot of interest, and that interest is from a lot of background that they have from the last 15 years of the shale revolution. So we couldn't be more excited to bring U.S. investors into this opportunity and bring them out to the outback in Australia.
And what would you say sets you apart from your competitors? What makes Tamboran so unique?
Just the vast resources that we have access to. We are the largest operator in the Beetaloo Basin. This is a basin that's on the size and scale of the Marcellus Shale. So as we develop this basin, once we get into first production, has the opportunity to move the needle for LNG markets in Asia Pacific and energy security in Australia, and that's what we're going to be focused on in the next years ahead. And for a U.S. investor, this gives us access to premium gas markets. So unlike U.S. gas producers that are tied to Henry Hub, we have the opportunity to trade at many multiples of Henry Hub as we get into first production.
Priorities for the second half of 2024?
Drilling 2 big wells. So we have 2 big wells we're going to start drilling in the next month, and we're going to have the results on those wells in the next 2 quarters ahead. And so we can't be more excited. These are to be the 2 biggest wells that this company's ever drilled, and the 2 biggest wells that are being drilled in industry today.
Thank you so much, Joel. I know you got a bell to ring, so I'll let you get up there.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, we are just about 4 minutes out from closing out the U.S. equity markets, and I believe we're going to take a quick look, a few live looks right now on the floor, because there's a lot of excitement happening. We'll be right back.
Let's go into the bouncer.
Joining me now is Jay Wiz, Chief Global Strategist at Freedom Capital. Good afternoon, Jay.
Good afternoon. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. It's a great Thursday. We're getting ready to close out the markets. Just give us a little rundown. What happened? What's the biggest trends that we've seen today? What's moving markets?
Yeah, well, the financial stocks were in the news. They had the bank stress tests, and they all passed. And we're seeing some mixed results, but we got through that. And now we're focused on, it's been a slow day. We're focused on tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. It's the end of the quarter. End of the first half of the year, which has been fantastic across most sectors. And we had that big PCE number, the Fed's preferred inflationary number. That will probably move the needle more than anything. So tomorrow there's going to be a lot of action. Today's a little bit calm before a potential storm, but we think it'll be all right.
And speaking of a potential storm, I mean, how do you think tonight's debate will impact the markets for tomorrow?
Well, here's a news flash. It's not going to impact the markets. Bring your popcorn. It's going to be fun. It will make headlines, but it will not make market-moving headlines. Election years, people think, oh my gosh, the market could get crazy. We could see pockets of volatility if a topic comes up that no one expected, but right now the market has been taking the election rhetoric in stride. It tends to get volatile right before the election. Then the last 2 elections, controversial elections, 16 and 20. The lows were election day, and we rallied to the end of the year. So we may see some volatility, but tonight I don't think will be the cause of it.
And you know, investors are also paying attention to the PCE inflation data that's coming out tomorrow morning. What do you think we can expect? How should investors be positioning themselves ahead of this report?
Yeah, well, we're looking for a number of 2.6%, which is down from 2.75 last month. This is a positive trend. We keep seeing a slight decline in PCE inflationary data, and the Fed is watching that closely. If we get 2.6, which is in line or lower, that could be the green light for the Fed to have that first rate cut, which we've been waiting for a while, at the September meeting. Their next meeting is July. Probably will set the stage for it if these numbers continue to trend. The trend has been slow. If we get something positive tomorrow out of that PCE number, then we could see a rally because people are going to anticipate that we may get that first rate cut sooner rather than later.
And you know, tomorrow marks the official day that the first half of the year is over for Wall Street. What do you think we can anticipate for the rest of the year? We have about 60 seconds.
All right, well, first, we've had a great first half of the year. 10 of 11 sectors are up. Real estate, the one that's down right now. What we want to look for are small caps to rally. The Russell 2000 has been lagging. A lot of interest rate sensitive stocks have struggled. If we get that cut, then we may see them start to join the party, but tech continues to be the big story. And I think it will be the story with the election as we head out into the end of next year. And I think we finish the year strong. A little volatility before we finish it out, but it will finish strong.
A lot to look out for. Thanks so much, Jay.
Thank you. Oh, here we go.
I know, in just a few seconds, I wanted to thank you all for watching NYSE TV Live. Again, I'm Trinity Chavez, and from us all here at the New York Stock Exchange, thanks for watching, and we're going to tune into this closing bell now. We'll see you next time.
40 seconds. iconic brands speak for themselves. The strongest brands stand the test of time. We are so excited to welcome you to our community. Today is all about you.
We've never lost sight of what we're trying to do and deliver that mission.
Going through this experience with my partners and my families has been unbelievable.
We imagined something that didn't exist yet, and we believed that we could do it.
You're going to look back on this accomplishment as one of the finest you've ever done.
I want you to know that the best is yet to come.
Just a few minutes, we'll go downstairs to the legendary New York Stock Exchange trading floor to ring the opening bell. The history here, the tradition, it's just incredible for us to be at this moment.